This navigation system's all messed up. It thinks we're in a park. Oh my God, it is a park! Away from the kids!
From 2009 to 2020, the television series Modern Family provided a satirical look at the ins and outs of the contemporary face of American suburbia. The show successfully upended the decades of sitcom conventions with representations of family that were largely limited to the post-World War II ideal of the nuclear family, providing representation that was sorely lacking in much of primetime television. Although the series certainly had its highs, it also had its low points as well. Despite upending many of the traditions of television, it still was unable to overcome some of the medium's most long-lasting conventions, leading to an episode that is the epitome of the problems with long-running television seasons.
Oh, jeez, look at that.
And now you stepped on it.
What? What's wrong with me?
In Season 9, Episode 19 of Modern Family, we get an episode that encapsulates many of the problems with contemporary television. The cultural shift from network television to streaming services has forced the executives behind the scenes to rethink numerous aspects of just how television is made. While the prestige cable or streaming drama has found a strong place in our modern culture, network sitcoms like Modern Family are still seeking how to evolve in this new age. With so many streaming series out there, is it possible for sitcoms to maintain that traditional 22-episode season and still maintain our interest? Without the need to fill out a majority of a year's worth of programming, streaming television shows can keep their series concise and eliminate useless fluff and filler. As such, Modern Family had to meet those demanding 22-episode orders season after season. The show existed in this strange place where it was following the old ways of producing television while also being experienced and enjoyed through the more contemporary methods of streaming services. The show was available to stream on Hulu the day after it aired, and full seasons were streamable to new potential viewers at any time on other streaming services. The need for the 22-episode season was non-existent. The show did not need to be airing constantly to keep viewers' attention or to prevent people from falling behind. The ability to catch up on an entire series was always just a few button clicks away.
Your mind is scattered, Gloria.
Your mind is gonna be scattered. Manny, hand me the gun.
Beyond being tired and overdone, the plot lines we are given feel very out of place for the characters and involve nonsensical conclusions. Phil and Claire have a rematch of a race from all the way back in Season 1, which has some humorous jokes about how the characters have aged since the initial competition.
I immediately pulled that muscle that runs from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet.
But it also features a running gag about Phil's robot fighting group, an obscure callback to a throwaway gag 8 seasons prior. It's a joke that not only is really for hardcore fans, but it frankly sounds like a more interesting idea for an episode. Similarly, this episode features Mitchell's sudden interest in law enforcement, a character trait that has never been mentioned or addressed in any capacity in the series up to this point.
I'm a cop.
I thought your alternate life was you teaching at-risk youth to street dance.
No, I teach them to believe in themselves through street dance.
That's what it is.
This plotline especially feels like an attempt by the writers to grasp at straws because of the way it ends with some half-baked social commentary on how the power granted to police officers can lead to the dehumanization of those who society deems criminals. Yes, as ridiculous as it may sound, that massive social issue is addressed by, generously, 3 to 4 lines of dialogue.
I don't think that I can just toss someone into prison.
It also goes against Mitchell's established career as a defense attorney, the person responsible for protecting people from overreach by law enforcement. Logically, this is something he should stand against, rather than be inspired by. Finally, the plotline that gives its episode the title follows Haley trying to convince Gloria to sell her salsa company to her new startup company. It's ironic that this is the titular plotline considering it's completely dramatically inert. Gloria at first is hesitant to sell the salsa. She agrees to take the meeting, but she seems to be trying to sabotage the sale. Jay believes it's because she does not want to let go of the family salsa recipe, and he rescinds the deal on her behalf. Gloria is furious because she actually did want to sell the sauce after all. As you can tell by this riveting summary, it's a very tedious plotline that leaves the characters in exactly the same place as the start of the episode. Nobody learns anything about themselves or the other members of the family. This only further underlines a major issue with the choice to put the plots of this episode together. Structurally, some sitcoms with large casts like Modern Family attempt attempt to have their diverging plotlines coalesce into a satisfying conclusion, whether in a literal sense or thematically, but that never happens here. Instead, each of these separate plotlines reach their conclusions without us ever understanding the larger point of their relationship.
Maybe I was a little rash.
Really? Maybe a big rush.
Now, that's not to say that the current streaming model is flawless. One advantage of having a longer season and a week-by-week structure is that shows will simply stay in the public's mind for a longer period of time. When shows are released with an entire season at once, intended to be binged in rapid succession, the cultural discussion around these shows tend to burn out over the span of a weekend. People will discuss the latest season of Stranger Things with an excited fervor after it drops, but rarely does that excitement last beyond the first week or two of release. Our modern entertainment landscape is so overwhelmed and overstuffed with shows that are often treated as content fodder rather than works of art, and that can be especially damaging for streaming sitcoms. In fact, it's obvious that part of the reason for the success of streaming sitcoms like Ted Lasso is due in part to their week-to-week release. Or consider the series Mythic Quest, a show that released its entire first season at once in a bingeable model with very little fanfare from audiences. Once the show switched to a week-to-week model for its second season, it began to receive more attention from audiences. The major advantage shows like Ted Lasso and Mythic Quest have over network shows like Modern Family: shorter seasons. Even though they're returning to the older week-by-week release date schedules, those shows still implement shorter seasons, which often gives the shows more focused plot lines and a better allocation of budgets that creates a stronger visual sense than most network sitcoms.
We locked our baby in the car and people are judging us.
I swear to God, I'm gonna break it!
Do not break the window, you'll get glass on her.
Another advantage to the longer seasons of a show like Modern Family, it's the fact that the show had plenty of space to play around with and figure out the personalities of its characters. This makes it all the more frustrating when the show fails to deliver on previously established personality traits and canon portrayals of these characters, and instead falls back on two-dimensional portrayals that have never been a part of who these characters are in the previous 8 seasons. The choice to abridge the 22-episode season is not only necessary, it's essential for the medium. By providing a show's writing team to set the expectations of how many episodes a series needs to be, the quality of television shows will inevitably go up. In order for television to evolve and become its best self, these shows need to move beyond the dull, inspired filler episodes and the unwieldy season orders that make them necessary in the first place. Networks are desperate for content to pad out their streaming services, but it's not a glut of shows that will make their services popular. It's quality over quantity that is needed. Modern Family wasn't always perfect, but it had strong moments of comedic brilliance that were dulled as time went on by episodes like Chips and Salsa that feel like they were produced to fill a quota rather than inspired by the passion of the creatives behind the scenes. At the end of the day, the old adage proves true: less is more. But what do you think? Is binging the way to go? Do you prefer your sitcoms short and sweet, or do you prefer as many episodes as you can get? Let us know what you think, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Nerdstalgic.